for the belief in the impossible. We see in movies and stories and poems that speak to the miracle of Christmas, the joy and happiness of the possible, it's coming out, flowing out of Christmas that our faith is strengthened and we embrace the possible. Somebody knows what I'm talking about, the possible. It's possible, it's possible. God intervening and doing seemingly what we cannot do for ourselves, doing the impossible. Flowing out of Christmas is the belief and the joy. We don't really consciously understand it, but flowing out of Christmas is the belief and the joy of the miraculous. It is a faith in the possible, even in the moments of impossibility. The miracle of Christmas is such that the world seems to pause. The world with an aura and possible solemn attitude like no other day. Even for them who may not believe as we believe, may not be followers of the Christ that we celebrate, may not even be conscious of the Messiah, they still pause and line up. Even with all of the gift giving, we've come to know that it's really more than the gift. This pausing, this all. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? This pausing, this all, this solemn embrace of something happening in the celestial. We really know that it's more than just things. This is the blessedness and really the message that we learn from Hollywood, that we learn from the Grinch who stole Christmas. Even, listen to this, even as he attempted to steal the gifts, the things, he found that he could not steal Christmas. They still came together. They celebrated the joy of being together. For some of us, even on those dry Christmases, even on those lean Christmases, even on those moments where there was no tree or the tree was not filled, or perhaps I didn't get what I wanted or could not give what I wanted to give. At some point during the day, beyond the tears and the hurt and the disappointment, there was a coming together, because there was always more than the gifts and the things, the coming together. You see, Christ, even at his birth, even on Christmas Day, brings us together and shows us that if we can come together for one day, oh, somebody say, man, we can come together for every day. That as we sing joy to the world and peace to the world, that we can proclaim throughout of the world peace, not violence, peace, not hate, love, not strife. If we can come together for one day, if we can put our arms down for one day, if we can forgive for this one day, it shows us that we have the moral and the intellectual and the spiritual possibility of laying it down every day. You see, people do line up. Consciously or unconsciously, people do line up. You see, the miracle of Christmas and what we see in these three stories is that it's not all God's doing. For us, it's not all God doing for us what we can do, what we can't do for ourselves. We have a role. We play an important role. In our destiny, we play an important role. In our future, we play an important role in God's theater of redemption. I'm about ready to take my seat, you see. But we see in these three main stories of the birth of Jesus. We see this Joseph story and this innkeeper story. We see this wise men story. We see in each of these stories that each of them play an important role that is not God all by himself. Oh, my God. Let me help somebody here. You see, miracles can happen. The impossible, no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're up against, we all know that miracles can happen. Miracles are things that we don't have the capacity to bring about. Miracles are things that's beyond our power. Miracles are things that are even beyond our mental and emotional capacity. Miracles can happen. The impossible can happen. That dream can come true. God will. I said God will. But more than that, God can. I said God can. I said God can. You see, but see, God can, and he can more easily, and he can more swiftly when we line up. We have to do our part. You see, the greatest joy of this Christmas, and I say it every year, the greatest joy and the greatest aspect of Christmas, and actually the greatest gift, is not so much what we receive, but it's what we give. You see, we can and we must give our lives also in service. We must get out of our selfishness, our self-centeredness. We have to say, Lord, here I am. If it means loving them, that it's hard to love. If it means forgiving them, that is hard to forgive. If it means bringing back and reconciling with them that is broken, is that not the purpose of Jesus? To bring back together that which is broken. Was that not the coming of the Messiah to forgive and to love them that seemingly were not loving him? Let me say again, it's not so much what we receive, but it's what we embrace anew. That's the joy of Christmas, is that every year we can embrace anew. We get stopped in our tracks, that as we are celebrating and eating candy and shopping and somewhere during the midst of the Christmas season, the reality and the reason of the season crosses our path. We can give our lives in service. You see, we must learn how to meet God at the point of his need. Somebody say, man, it's not so much the point of my need. You see, but being used by God and being one of his is to be used by him at the point of his need. Say, here I am, Lord, use me. I get three endings, and let me give you my second one. Let me end with this. Here's how we can line up. Like Joseph, we can put our egos and our emotions on the side. We can put our public reputation and what people would think and our possible shame and guilt, we can lay it on the side and do what is right and what is needed for us to do.